we have a few minutes to take some questions from the audience. Go ahead, please.
Hey Viren, very inspirational hearing you. There's one question I've always had in my mind. How do smaller nations, take the population of Australia versus the population of India, even New Zealand and some of the other countries, what's the reason behind their success in sports versus us continuing to emerge? I know we've done far better in the last decade or so compared to the previous ones, but what is it that these smaller nations get right? And when I say smaller, I mean in terms of population, that we perhaps need to do better at.
Yeah, no, very good question. Take an example of a small nation like Hungary. Hungary has, I Googled recently, Hungary has a population of 10 million people.
Bangalore, essentially.
Yeah, in Bombay, that is Bandra, Andheri and Borivali. Hungary, India won 7 medals at Tokyo. A small dot in the map called Hungary won 20 medals, including 7 gold medals. Hungary doesn't have more money than India. Hungary doesn't have better facilities than India. Hungary doesn't have smarter people than India. So what is Hungary doing to win 20 Olympic medals? And I think the answer lies in, again, just the culture of sport. Very good coaches, very good grassroots programs, and at every levels. And honestly, there are 100 things that go into building champions. But good coaches, good culture, good environment, these are critical factors. And right now I'm working with the government on 2036 plans for India. So when you're talking about 2036, I mean the kids today are 11, 12, 13 years old. And we have to ensure that those kids are in the right environment, which I said conducive to excellence. And as a nation, right now we need to improve on many, many factors. So availability of facilities, right? We come from the 1% strata of society which our kids can play in good facilities, but 99% of kids don't have the availability. They don't have good coaches. Unless we teach our kids the right thing at the right time, right? Like we had good teachers who taught us maths and science and the basics at a young age. Same with sport. We got to teach them the right things at the right time. And that's the biggest drawback for countries like India. Because the talented kids, so 97% of athletes supported by OGQ they come from small towns and villages. They are not coming from Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. They have the hunger and the fire and the desire. What they don't have is the coaches and the structure and the support. We have to marry that together. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Vishnu.
What about the research process, right? So, and your mission is very clear, number of gold medals, right? So really, and so for that you have to kind of work back, as you said, right from the time. So how do you scout? How do you do research? Yeah. This is super important, right?
So we have a full-fledged research team that is researching into all individual Olympic sports. We support athletes from 9 Olympic sports, all individual, and 8 Paralympic sports. So one criteria is Olympic sport, second is individual Olympic sport, third is so our priority sports are badminton, boxing, shooting, archery, wrestling. Why these 5 sports? Because all the data over the last decade and a half shows that these are the sports that India has the best chance of winning Olympic medals. If you look at comparative standards with world competition, if you look at current pool of talent, pipeline of talent for the future, within these 5 sports there are about 100 Olympic medals up for grabs. India won only 2 at Rio, only 7 at Tokyo. So much work to be done just in these 5 sports. India, just for your information, India qualifies for the Olympics in about 18 different sports. But if we try to support everything, we'll end up supporting everyone but winning nothing. So one of the lessons you learn from Olympic is you focus. And that's the DNA of OGQ, to focus on excellence and to go really deep. Also, if you analyze the Olympic medal tally of the last 5 Olympics and you look at the top 30 nations in the medal tally, you will see that most of them win around 80% of their medals from only 4 sports. So again, the lesson here is to win Olympic medal, focus and play to your strengths. Yes, sir.
Thank you for the inspiration. Great talk. My question is, like, you've come here to inspire us, speak to us in a leadership session. What kind of speakers do you get to speak to these athletes when you have to, before a competition, or to motivate them or to give them a pep talk?
No, I'm sorry, what?
This question
what kind of...
Yeah. Yes, the question is that you are inspiring us over here, but what type of people do you get to inspire the players right before that, the Chak De India type Shah Rukh Khan dialogues?
No, I think it's like I said, just the right team and the right people. One of my main jobs is to ensure that everyone surrounding the athlete are really good people, and the team is loyal, dedicated, focused towards the mission, and they all inspire each other and push each other. And also we have to remember that the Olympic medal is not won on that day when 1 billion people are watching. It's won every single day at 5:30 in the morning when no one is watching. So we have to keep the motivation levels high every single day when no one is watching at work. So that's, I would say, equally important. And just having the right environment and good people. Most of my job is just ensuring that all our best athletes have the right people around them.
That's so important what you're saying. Just focusing on the fundamentals, right? Not necessarily just the show part of it.
Yeah. I would say it's one of the important parameters. Like I said, there are 100 aspects go into creating champions. But just mental strength, Manish said, resilience, grit. You cannot win without having these qualities. If you don't have the ability to fight, because there will always be challenges. No athlete, I went through 15 years of playing hockey, not a single day I was not in pain. But there would be many times where you feel that you don't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and push yourself at training. But you have to be able to overcome that. And I quit hockey the day I felt that I was not motivated enough to wake up and push myself beyond limits.
Hi, Viren. Thanks for the very inspirational talk. Slightly contrarian question here is you identify players and you support them, but when you take the call that this player has reached the optimum or maybe this player cannot be supported further, so how does those conversations happen, or how difficult, how easy? Because I mean, I played sport.
Super difficult. I get what you're saying. We have a biannual monitoring process. We weed out on an average of 10 athletes every year. It is the hardest decision for me to pick up the phone and call that athlete and tell them that we're no longer going to be able to support you. We don't drop any athlete overnight. We give them a 6-month period where we talk to them, communicate with them, mutually set goals, standards that we expect them to achieve. We give them the best possible support. If they're still not attaining benchmarks, we have to take the hard decision to drop, because in India at any point of time there are 1,000 athletes, talented kids knocking on the doors for support, and we have to maintain high standards and we have to take hard decisions. I think Manish and the leadership team would always know about taking hard decisions, and those come every single day. But we weed out athletes, we monitor extremely stringently. If we don't do that, forget winning Olympic medals, we'll not even qualify for the Olympics.
Okay, I know we are at, listen, one more question, but please keep it very short. We have 2 minutes.
Sure. I mean, I just want to know your experience playing with legends like Dhanraj Pillai or Sabu Warke. How did that impact you as a person and your style of leadership today?
I had the opportunity to play when I became captain. There were 4 players in the Indian hockey team who were captains prior to me, right, from Dhanraj Pillai, Dilip Tidki, etc. So I think just learned so much. Dhanraj was again a player I grew up admiring. I remember when I was 13 years old in school, the Indian hockey team came to my school to play an exhibition match. And after that exhibition match got over, 500 kids ran on the pitch, and I was one of the lucky few who got to shake hands with Dhanraj Pillai. And who knew that 6 years later I would be playing alongside him at the Indian team. So I just learned so much from him. He was so mad and so crazy in everything that he did, and I think you learn that Geet Sethi says that to win Olympic medals, you have to not have passion, you have to have obsession. And Dhanraj Pillai was, he played 4 Olympics, almost 400 matches for India over 15-16 years, maintained such high levels. And you have to be mad to perform at that level. I mean, what, Federer and Djokovic and Nadal are doing. This is mad. This is not possible for people. And this I learned so much from Dhanraj also about taking calculated risks, because he always took risks in matches. And without taking risks, you cannot beat the best teams in the world. If you play safe all the time, you will be too predictable. And what he was anything but predictable. You could not predict what he would do in a match. Of course, he trained for it, because he trained so well that he was good enough to take those risks. But without taking those, you'll never win, you'll never progress. So I learned a lot from him about being obsessive in a good way, and also just taking risks.
Okay, excellent. It's exact, we still have 1 minute to go and we'll stop it.
I just want to say about Prakash Padukone.
Sure, please go ahead.
The Prakash Padukone is the nicest person in the world when you meet him, when you talk to him. But when you meet him behind the scenes, he has so much fire in him, and I know and understand now why he was the best in the world. And one thing, he mentors Lakshya Sen from the time Lakshya was 10 years old. And one thing that Prakash sir always says is, never settle for being second best. And that's something I learned from him, and he's never satisfied. And I think to be the best, in a way, you have to always be able to maintain the hunger and the fire and the desire. And we have to all find our different ways to maintain the hunger to be better every day. So that's what I learned from Prakash sir.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you so much, Viren. I know you have a flight and this Bangalore traffic. Yeah. Really appreciate.
Thank you, and thank you, Indegene. Thank you, Manish, Saurabh, and the whole team. Really appreciate all the support. I can assure you that many young poor kids who are super talented but need the support, they are benefiting from the support that Indegene is giving them. So thank you very much for that.
It's our privilege to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah.